dad shows me that in your heart, every single day you question, does my dad know how much that he meant to me? Does he know that I was fighting for him? Does he know that I was just trying to be there and take care of him? Your father just says to me that he wants to thank you for all the love that you gave him. There's a soul that's coming through that I keep hearing passed after an operation or after a procedure.
My dad?
Okay.
He had a port put in.
And he died?
Yes.
Okay.
Like 4 days later.
But he keeps saying to me that like this was like a mistake when I'm connecting with him. Like he wasn't supposed to die in this way. He keeps talking about a medical mistake about his passing.
Well, I'm glad to hear that because he told me something else 2 months prior to.
What do you mean?
He said he was being medicated and manipulated and poisoning for his estate.
Your dad just said to me, Matt, he says, I need to let her know that first of all, when your dad was here, I know that this man was sick. I'm going to tell you right now, he was not poisoned here in this world.
Okay.
But what I will tell you is that your dad did believe that when he was here and when he was alive, because he shows me that. He talks about not wanting to go to the doctors. He tells me that he refused to take medication when I'm connecting with him. And when I'm speaking to your dad, he was very much afraid. He was afraid of going to the hospital and never coming home.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that same thing that he was afraid of ended up taking his life here in this world. He says to me that you live with regret every day because I see you going and saying to your dad, like, Dad, you're going to be fine. Like, Dad, you're going to be okay. Dad, don't worry about anything. And then all of a sudden, you're finding out that he died and you're like, what the hell happened? Like, he wasn't supposed to die.
I was with him. That was the only day that I was not down there.
What your dad tells me is this. Every single day, you've been trying to figure out what happens with his passing. But what I will tell you is that this had nothing to do with your stepmother or his wife. I will tell you that even though she didn't handle the situation the way that he would have wanted her to, your father says to me that the way that he died was like a medical mistake here in this world. It was something medical.
Yes.
It was not that somebody killed him.
He did not want to have that port put in.
Your father's here right now and he says to me, Matt, my heart was not beating the way that it should have. That's what he tells me.
No, it wasn't.
He shows me that instead of beating 100%, it was only beating like a quarter.
Yes.
And your father says to me that that everything that he went through with his body was just too much.
I miss him so much.
I'm coming down here with you. He tells me that, first of all, you need this more than you ever know because your dad shows me that in your heart, every single day you question, does my dad know how much that he meant to me? Does he know that I was fighting for him? Does he know that I was just trying to be there and take care of him? Your father just says to me that he wants to thank you for all the love that you gave him. But the thing is that your father also knows that there was no way that you would be able to heal. There's no way that you'd be able to live your life without hearing from him again. Because every single day you've been stuck in the past, you've been stuck in the day that your dad has died. He says to me, Matt, she's got to let it go. He says, because the one thing is this, is that there was a lot of hurt and pain that you had with your stepmother here in this world. But the thing is that he did not want for this to control your life and to control you. And that's what it's doing.
Yes,
he tells me that it's making you sick, that every single day you wake up and you're upset and you're depressed and you're mad and you're angry. And your dad says to me, I never wanted my death to do this to her. I didn't want my death to leave her like this. That's why he's here. Yes. Because listen, were there choices and decisions that were made for your dad that may not have been the right ones? Probably. But that wasn't something that your dad wants you to go and dwell on. He says, at the end of the day, my body was given out.
Oh, I know that.
He says, every single day, you feel like you haven't been validated. You feel like your dad didn't see what was going on. You feel like, because he tells me, listen, what's so crazy is that whatever goes on in your head, whatever's stopping you from healing, your loved ones see. And your dad tells me that every single day you go back and you say, but did my dad know? Did he understand? Did he know that I was kept from him? Did he know that this happened and that happened and all these things? He says, I know. He says, but at the end of the day, he wants you to know. And by him being able to come through in this way, it's his way of showing you that he is at peace in heaven. I also see when I'm connecting, there's a child that passed as well that I'm seeing here.
I was a teenager when I lost a child.
Please know that that soul is there with your dad. Because this is one of the other things that's been holding you back from healing. Because every day you think about that child. Your father says to me, that soul that you lost is there and with me on the other side. And your dad wants to let you know this. He says, Matt, you tell my daughter that I'm able to be in her life every single day. But he also tells me you need to slow down. He tells me you almost got like in an accident. So did you almost hit somebody?
Let me tell you, like 4 or 5 people on the way here.
Wait, on the way here?
Oh my gosh, I swear. And look, 13 is like my lucky number because a couple of years ago I got rear-ended and like 3 seconds before it come up on me.
Well, listen, he says to me this. Your father says to me, Matt, he says, you got to tell her to slow down a little bit because he says to me that every single day, he says she stresses and she worries. He says, and I want her to be able to enjoy life, not just go through life. He says, so take it day by day. Enjoy the journey. He says, and even though I'm not here physically with you, he says, I am with you on the other side. He says, so don't worry about anybody in my life that you don't like or that you're not fond of. He says, remember us, remember our love, remember our connection, because that's what's so important.